Yo, what's the name of the podcast?
Trash Talk Experience.
I bet. Welcome to the Trash Talk Experience.
Hello. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Trash Talk Experience. It's your boy, Abob, coming to you live from an undisclosed location in Sydney, Australia. I'm joined by my boy, Sun, today. Sun, how you doing, brother?
Just catching up, bro. But anyways.
We're joined by a very, very special guest, fellow podcasting legend from the TWG podcast. Billy, how you doing, brother?
I'm very good. Masked up and ready to go. I've heard we're all anonymous, so don't call me Billy, please. I'm Wake and Bake Mansour today.
What?
What's up with the Stevie Wonder simulator?
You know Sheikh Mansour?
Sheikh Mansour.
My brother.
No worries.
Anyways, pleasure. Thank you for having me, by the way. Legend is wild. That's ridiculous. I'll take it.
Well, you're
absolutely.
more of a, more of a veteran than we are in the podcasting scheme. So yeah, we look up to you, bro.
Oh, that's too much already. Shut the fuck up right now.
Okay, no worries.
that's no. Now people will be like, I expect a lot from this. No. We're still learning as well. We're all learning as we go.
Yeah, exactly. I had a question for you. In your opinion, right off the bat, are Sri Lankans the best people to come out of the Indian subcontinent?
We're the original ones. Yeah, I don't want to say best or anything, but we're the good ones.
What makes you original? Just wondering right now.
So in terms of, I'm going to throw all education out of the window. We just look the most traditional. We're the most tanned, blessed, melanin, dark skin. I'm pretty brown skinned. You guys,
you gotta praise your Tamil genetics for that.
Exactly. Hardcore Tamil, one of the oldest languages I've heard as well. My dad says it every day. Oldest languages.
Sri Lankans get offended by calling them Tamil. They'd rather be Sinhalese.
It's because they don't like conflict. They're cowards. That's what I say.
So you're Tamil. You're like the underdogs.
Yeah. I think that's how it's been painted. Obviously, if any Tamils are listening right now, I'm not trying to butcher the whole situation. But yeah, we are the underdogs. Absolutely. Underdogs means the war's still going. That shit finished. But
okay.
Yeah, we're definitely still in the homeland. We're definitely struggling. But I guess, that's the point. I think everyone's migrated. You'll see you've probably, I'm not the first Tamil in, Sydney you've seen, right? There's plenty of us. Heaps in Canada, heaps in England. So I think we're going to overtake somewhere else. England looks nice.
How does it feel to be part Indian, low-key? I mean...
Does this guy just keep going? 30 minutes of this?
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, my goodness. Nah, I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why I get offended when people call me Indian, though. That shouldn't be a thing either.
Indian's all right for me. When someone says Nepalese, I'm like...
Nepalese? What does Nepalese look like? I've seen... I don't know. I don't know.
Because I get, various... different races depending on how much cricket I play. If I'm playing much cricket, I get Nepalese. If I'm playing less cricket, it's a bit...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it's every time they say Nepalese, I'm like, yo, I need to clean shave, get a face wash. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with them. They're good-looking guys, whatever.
I'm only Sri Lankan when I've dropped 2 catches in the field. That's when I'm definitely Sri Lankan. That's the bullshit.
Funny thing is, Son once went to Melbourne and he saw a girl over there. She called him Mauritanian. Mauritius. And then he took it as a prideful thing. He was like, oh yeah, Mauritius sounds exotic.
But then he went home. So did I. That's it. That sounds amazing. That sounds exotic as.
Yeah, so I looked up, what Mauritian men look like once our interaction finished, and I was like, oh,
God damn it. I'm gonna look that up as well now. Mauritius man. That's wild, bro. That's wild. Nah.
I had a question for you, Billy. What do you think, people normally, find it really hard to, differentiate between Indians and Sri Lankans, as you said. What is, the one thing you would point to, oh, yeah, we're different here and different here?
Oh, I mean, honestly, if we're definitely names. So I think people saying, you look Indian, they're just being lazy. If we're being genuine, if you look at my name and how it's structured, my name's not actually Billy. It's Pranavan Yodasan, right? And if you've met maybe 5 other Tamils, why the hell does my last name rhyme with his last name? You know what I'm saying? Literally, you'll see patterns and stuff, right? So. Yeah. I don't know, because you'll see so many Singhs and so many Prabjots and as in literally you'll see so many, but then you definitely know that's Indian. So I just think it's kind of being lazy, not knowing Sri Lankan names yet.
Yeah,
If I'm being genuine.
even with like looks wise, like I feel from
We're
what I
cuter. We're way cuter. I mean,
you guys have better facial hair as well than Indians.
yeah. I'm sorry. Oh no, I don't.
No,
I don't
I
want to
wouldn't
say that.
say so.
No.
I wouldn't.
I think we look good with most, but this has been years of like nothing's happened.
You're actually the first Sri Lankan person I've met that doesn't have good facial hair.
That's surprising. Now I think I've met most of them.
I mean, it's going to happen on the pod. That's true. But literally, hey, handlebars potentially, but everything else, shambles, patchy, like my country. Everything's gone.
I went to Macquarie University, also known as Little Colombo. So yeah, like a lot of them that were over there. I used to do the same thing. I used to ask people their names and then try to figure out. Like I've worked with a lot of Tamil people. Like I volunteer at this organization, so a lot of Tamil people come there. Yeah. And they've given me like insights into Sri Lankans in general. So I'm pretty good at like deciphering between Indians and Sri Lankans.
I'm not that great, but I'm going to put it on you. What do you reckon, personality-wise, is a big difference from the stereotypical Indian and Sri Lankan? Just stretch your mind. First one.
I think you guys are a lot less cliquey. So you like expand out a bit more. Indians are too cliquey. That's one thing I would definitely point to. Yeah. Like I've seen Sri Lankans hang out with a lot more other groups than Indians have. Indians like, they just like migrate from India and then make their own little India over here.
Yeah.
With Sri Lankans, you guys like,
Interesting. That 100% makes sense. I mean, we definitely still have very like cliquey things, but I definitely understand what you mean. Like, that's interesting. Do you have an issue with that, or is that just kind of is what it is?
No, I prefer it to be that way. I've made a lot more Sri Lankan friends.
Everyone else. India's in the bud. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, just because of that, I've made a lot more Sri Lankan friends than I have, like, Indian friends. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, thank you for giving us a little bit of insight into your Sri Lankans and Tamils in general. I had a question. I've recently heard you, I think you put it on your Patreon. You were talking about manifestation. You put up a clip as well on Instagram. What is your belief in manifestation? Like, are you all for it, or?
Someone pays to listen to yourself, or?
I think it's currently just a cycle of. I've made 20 shadow accounts, and then the shadow accounts pay me. I pay them. It's a great situation. Yeah.
So money's in the house.
Exactly. Yeah. I've got that many cousins. But no, what you said about manifestations, I'll be honest. I'll be 100% honest. 2 years ago, when the first time I heard it, like. Sounded very just in your face, and I was like, nah. Just because it sounds corny, As like a typical straight male, you're just like, whoa, you're shoving manifestations, writing down your dreams on a paper. No way, just work that shit, right? 2 years down the line, unfortunately, this is how I usually learn my situations. I was talking to a girl, and then she like literally puts it down slowly, like, look, because I love joking around. Sometimes I lose myself in the jokes. I'll just keep joking 24/7. It's a bit, and then I realize. I'll say some pretty like fucked up shit about, my own, well, what's an example? I'll be like, oh man, I'm really bad with time management, right?
Self-depreciating?
Yeah, exactly that. Like, it's not even my main form of comedy, like how I think, but then I'll say it very easy. It comes off easy, right? And then I think she just caught that, and then she's like, why, like, you're never going to get good at time management or whatever if you just keep saying it. And then I low-key realized, I was like, shit, it's been 2 years and I haven't changed my time managing. Do you get me? So... these things, so I started writing down, like, I bought one notepad, one corny-ass notepad, put it in my pocket, then I wrote down some things, and look, I'm not saying there's some heebie-jeebie guy, sprinkling some dust on me, but just the fact that I wrote it down, put the effort down, and, like spent time feeling that, I feel like I'm kind of better. That being said, I was 6 minutes late to this, so... What are we talking about?
But I kind of agree with you in this regard that there is a hippie guy manifesting, putting a through.
Mr. Christo himself.
Putting an idea through. Yeah, but now my idea with this is like, so I've been into delving into law of attraction and all that stuff. And I was reading a bit about religion because we do come from a Muslim background. And one of the guys, it wasn't a Reddit comment, he said, like, we are faces of God. Think about it, like you and me are product of our parents. So am I. If we can chase it back to thousands of years, we would have singular parents. Like, probably most likely. My parents may be a bit better looking, but that's
okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so back to the first person, like Adam and Eve. If you believe in Christianity, if you don't believe in Christianity, it has to be someone. The first particle, someone would have created it. The person, the entity, or whatever occurrence created it, would have been the Father or the God or Jesus, Allah, whatever. That entity, we have some kind of portion to it, because like I am partly my parents. So I'm saying part of us would be Allah. Like we would have some kind of divinity within us. Like even Islam says like we have God is in our heart, whatever. I'm saying we all are manifestations of God. And if you think of yourself lowly, like if you think bad stuff, it kind of manifests itself.
Yeah. Now I'm saying.
When you say time management is just one aspect. I'm saying materialistic results. People have written down like The Secret, the book, and like Oprah, like they've talked about it in a commercial way. But I'm saying there is some kind of like aspect to it where we manifest physical stuff in our life.
Billy, I know you're confused,
Generally.
and so will our audience be a lot confused because Sun never says anything close to what he's saying right now. Most of the time, he's just making, penis jokes.
Ready for the shower question. I took a shower today. Ready for the shower question.
We're taking a break from shower questions. We're taking a break
Doesn't look
from
like
that.
it, but if you say I'll take your word for
No.
it.
I do. Okay. I was thinking manifesting in the very basic term of just like, how you can just take your own life by the horns. Because I talk to the worst generation in the sense that like sometimes we're lost people doing like, someone's just smoking up 24/7, they've lost themselves. They don't even know what to do. And it's like, what's the first step? Man, get a goddamn piece of paper and write down what you want, But then you're saying like in terms of even like divine beings, them being reflections upon it, like from us or what, like.
Okay. Let's disregard that part. Well, because obviously there's a whole debate and that's like more intellectual and we meant to be trash talk.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not intellectual, so that's two things.
We're gonna move on anyway. You already mentioned your podcast there, the Worst Generation.
Plugs on that, my bad.
No, it's
No, that's fine. My question was, what makes you reckon we are worst generation? Because I reckon we are a decent generation compared to people behind us.
We would say that, yeah, of course. But then when I ask my aunties, they're like, ugh, But then, like, what does even worst mean? I think that's the whole purpose. I don't know.
What made you start the podcast? And what's the decision behind naming it the Worst Generation?
Decision behind starting it in the first place? I mean, you guys, I'm a huge fan of like Andrew Schultz, right? I don't know if like how many
for sure.
Yeah, like this guy, and like if you've listened to the podcast and you've realized, I don't live in America and I haven't been to the comedy club, and some of these things that they talk about will not even affect me for so many years. But then, why was my hour drive one of the quickest I've ever felt? Like some of these things, like before listening to comedians' podcasts, I used to think people had to learn from like a 5-minute thing or had to be like an educational thing. And then I realized, I don't know, from my point of view, I didn't see that much in Sydney, like of just that essence, just flagrancy and all that shit.
Yep.
And then, it wasn't even about starting it for the fact of putting it out. Because when did COVID hit, man? Like a year and a half ago, I think it was March.
Yeah.
Because I remember that
last year, March.
I wanted to kind of start like stand up, like that journey around then. And then obviously everyone's stuck inside. So I was like 2 and 2 together. This kind of came together. And then the Worst Generation, literally the name, it's corny as fuck. It was based off One Piece. So like, corny to everyone else. If you know, you fucking know. That's what I'm saying.
So you mentioned this before we started as well. You bought a One Piece. I had to ask, like, the problem with I see a lot of anime influence in general in your podcast as well. The problem with I love anime, but the problem is with One Piece. You're like 2,000 episodes in, bro. Like, where do I start and how do I catch up? Like, it's impossible.
Yeah. Are you someone that because end of the day, if you've watched anime, then it's just about because like sometimes I try and introduce One Piece as someone's first anime, right? That's a joke. I don't know what I'm doing. 1,000 episodes, that's stupid. But if you watched it, it's just about giving it the time. It's not like action-packed fully, like every single scene is going to trigger my, like, what is my epilepsy or something. It's just like, think of it as like a sitcom. Have you watched Friends? Have either of you watched Friends?
I have, yeah.
I don't have free time.
Thank you, son. Thank you. I was hoping for 2 no's. That's, Abob, we're going to talk afterwards. So you said you have time for Friends, but you don't have time for One Piece. Yeah. I mean, reevaluate yourself.
No, but Friends wasn't 1,000 episodes. Okay, I'll say
it's
like
100 episodes of absolute garbage.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I will definitely catch up on One Piece at one point.
I don't know, because it's like, it has that like innocent comedy in it. So I'm trying to show it as that like, it's like an easy watch. It's like easy to watch in the background, whatever. But then as soon as the story starts, you'll be hooked.
Because I only watched one anime, Full Metal. It's better than that.
That's a good one to be fair, but
because I was addicted. Like I had assignments, work due from, and I still watched like 2 seasons, 2 series in like a week. Not even a week, like 4 or 5 days.
My thing is with anime is like, dude, didn't you learn some crazy ass fucking like lesson out of that as well?
Yeah.
Like the equivalent exchange. It's ridiculous, man. Like, and I'm just like,
the funny thing is with anime, in general with Sun, he's watched Full Metal. Before he watched Full Metal, he used to be like, "Why the hell do you watch hentai?" He didn't think anime was real. He just thought hentai was the thing. It's like you know how like people watch like K-drama or like Bollywood movies and stuff like that. We find it weird, like girls watch that or like, you know, all the women watch that. They probably feel the same when we watch anime. They're like, oh, it looks corny as hell. Why do you guys watch
100%,
it?
Yeah, exactly. How do you even like, because sometimes I know my mom, like full-time job, right? And then she'll come home and watch absolute garbage. Like, it's just like, I'm just like, you're a smart woman. Like, I thought we were progressing. And then like, she's watching like, they started watching Bachelor, and I remember like 10 years ago, they were like avidly telling me not to watch this stuff. And I'm like, what is going on in my head right now? But they're like, I need to switch off. So that makes sense, like needing to switch off sometimes. But I don't know. I feel like with anime, there's opportunity to learn. And I feel like some people aren't, like, they get lazy with the reading as well. Subtitles is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I think.
Fair enough. I want to go back to the podcast. Like, we'll wrap up this first segment. But yeah, I want to go back to your podcast. You talked about it in terms of like, you had the idea of like just getting your friends along to begin with. Yeah. Then you wanted to expand it out, just, you know, like whoever wants to jump on board.
Yeah.
But that requires a lot of like, you know, time in like promoting it as well, because no one's going to just find you out of the blue. Like, you have to spend time. I remember you talked about one episode you were on. You were talking about Instagram with one of your white friends. I forget his name. He kind of looks like Conan O'Brien.
How do you make white friends? Can you help me out with that, man? What's the science? What's the solution?
Anyway, so yeah, like you were talking with your friend and you talked about Instagram quite a bit. And then you were like, yeah, like I have to use this. Like, even though like I hate spending time on it, I have to kind of use it. But yeah, we struggle with it. Our Instagram is dead. Like I just don't have the time to like, you know, put like promotional material out of it. So what's your idea about, do you just want to do it for your personal like satisfaction, put the podcast out? Or do you want to focus on the promoting as well?
I mean, end of the day, because right now, like our inspirations, like, you know, being the comedians like Andrew Schultz and all that, right? When we hear of their stories, it was more about just a slog of doing the exact same thing over and over again, and then you just get something, right? Eventually they learn, obviously, like I've dumbed it down very...
But thing is, they have interesting life going on right now. I mean, they have it. Like, for me personally, like, I work in construction.
100%. 100%.
I finish a fight, sorry. I come home, play games, go sleep. What should I talk about?
I get that, but the thing is, like, I mean, okay, you said the hours for construction are fucked, right?
So when I used to work at Aldi previously to construction, I was like, you know, I had some interactions. I used to have funny stories.
Of course.
But now it's like I don't interact with people apart from my colleagues half a day.
Interesting.
And then I come back home to talk to my sister. So where should that stimulus come from? Because Schultz has got if you listen to him, you know, he lives life. So does everyone else in the Akash and everyone. They've got a good thing going on. What do we talk about?
Yeah. I don't know. Do you reckon we glorify their stories though? Because they're our fucking heroes, you know? I remember there was one where Schultz got stuck in like a wave pool, right? So he said he was about to die. Bitch, that's happened to me like 3 times in a beach, man. I don't swim to have fun. I swim to survive. So like literally when he said that, I was like, I'm laughing, but I'm also laughing because I've lived that shit, right? Yeah. So literally you can like before the podcast and like, I mean, I'm grateful for feedback. That's one thing. Like when you get feedback, that's the best thing. Forget the numbers and everything. Fuck that. Fuck Instagram. When you get feedback, that's the main thing. And obviously you're going to get more feedback the more effort you put in, right? Literally Instagram and all that. Because, like, look, I want to make people laugh, and then you realize you're not getting out to people, right? Like, because at the end of the day, it depends on what you want from the podcast. Why'd you guys start, sort of thing?
For me, like, I started it. These guys just, like, tagged along in a way. So if they want to drop off, like, I'll understand. Like, for me, it was just, I used to do a lot more creative things before. And in lockdown, I was like, what's the one thing I can do and still be able to manage it? And the podcast was, like, the most logical, you know, thought behind it. Obviously, then I watch Andrew Schultz's podcast. I listen to other podcasts. I'm like, why not just give it a go and see where it goes? So, and put like, not like take it like as a job, but like put as much effort as I can into it.
Yeah. The thing is, I never forced any of those like slight upgrades in my tech or distribution or whatever because I felt forced to. Like, I just kept doing it because I liked it. And then when I moved, because I remember I moved out for 6 months with my boys, and then I just noticed one of my dad's cameras. This guy is a hobby guy, right? He'll just pick up something, leave it in the corner for like 6 weeks, right? So I'm like, fuck it. He's got one camera. I've got my mics. I'll take it to my Seven Hills house, or area, whatever. I'll take it to the house, and then we'll start recording. Just because I wanted to, you know? Like, it wasn't because someone was telling me or like there was any sort of force. It was literally just because I wanted to. And I'm assuming you guys made that jump because you wanted to, right?
Yeah.
So like eventually when you keep posting episodes, you'll eventually realize like, damn it, motherfucker, like that episode was hilarious. Why did no one see that shit? Then you realize, oh, my thumbnail was whack. And then this is whack. And then you're like, would you do that to yourself every single time if you know good content's there? Like, no, I'm going to put slightly more effort into this to make sure people see it. So it's like,
I reckon in a group, only Abob has a desire for it. Like, for me, you should have a burning desire, I reckon, if you need to succeed. If you don't have, because, like, let's say about law of attraction, you want to write down stuff that matters to you. I have never written down about this podcast, even though I care about it. So I guess in hindsight, I haven't cared about it that much.
Yeah, I don't think that's caring
like
about it at all, to be honest. But, like, because, like, definitely, because you bring, like, a comedy element to it, right? Like, okay, in terms of Sun, are you trying to be, like, outside of this? Do you want to try pursue comedy in any sort of way? Because you bring jokes. I ain't gonna.
That was my initial thing, but I wanted to try through this method, like do podcasts just to
test the waters. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think, like, you know how you said you want to be a comedian, not a comedian. But
I want to
like,
give it a good crack. Definitely, yeah.
You want to get. For me, I don't think I have that in me. Like, what motivates me right now is to be the best at my work. Like, I want to be that good. Like, I spend like 15 hours a day sometimes working 7 to 9. Even though I'm not, they ask me to not work that long, but that is my motivation, and that intrigues me.
Interesting.
But comedy is something that obviously, like, I'm kind of funny. I have no filter. So it's like, it's one of those things I need to actually curb myself down, because sometimes people expect jokes all the time. Secondly, they expect serious jokes.
Yeah. Oh, man. They ask how the funny guy is, hey? They never ask how the funny guy is. That's a shame. Yeah, bro. I mean, look, it shouldn't feel like a pressure, but at the same time, yeah, maybe, like, if you feel like there's some sort of creative urge, like, just nagging at you, like, why not feed it a little bit, you know? You can still be amazingly passionate at your job, but also have a 2-hour break, or not maybe, hey, maybe you're not breaking that long, hey, hard worker, yeah? But maybe you break half an hour, you've got your notes on your phone, just start writing up jokes, you know? Like, it's not that hard when you put it down to it. It's just that sometimes, like, I know my thing is when you start an essay, right? My thing is with uni assignments, the hardest part is starting it. Because it's like, bro, I don't want to start this. I don't even want to think about it. But as soon as you start it, you're like, this ain't even, like, I don't even mind discussing this right now. So, yeah, that's my thing. My notes on my phone is, like, probably the thing that I use most, just because I'll write concepts and I'll look at it, like, 2 days later. It's not funny at all. Get rid of it. Like, it doesn't have to be that deep, I don't think.
Anyway, I was going to bring up something. You say, with Sun, the thing is, like, I keep telling him, like, he just should just try it out. Like, you know, go open mics, you know, try it out, write something down. Yeah, as I said, like, he himself has admitted he lacks the dedication for it. But you've tried open mics. Yes. You've actually been out there, put yourself out in front. Just, give us a little bit of insight. Like, what's that experience like?
Literally, bro, I didn't realize how hyperactive my sweat glands were in my forehead until I stood up on stage, man. That shit is ridiculous.
How many people are we talking about?
Oh, but not many at all, bro. It'll be like
15.
So the most was probably around like 20, 25. The least was probably like 7.
So scary,
It doesn't matter.
And these are random people.
It doesn't matter because inside I am feeling all sorts of fucking shit. It's ridiculous. Like, I'll get up and because I have mates that come and record me, like, not mates, like a minimum. Actually, no, I'm blessed. Every single time I've had one person come, which definitely helps. If you are dead, hey, Abob, join Sun on his adventure one time. But yeah, literally, it definitely helps. He records, and then I'll watch it afterwards. I don't remember that 4 minutes most of the time. And then I'll come back and I'll watch it, and I'm like, holy shit, I am so ass. And then, like, you realize it's because you're so nervous over why am I sweating, why am I doing this? And then you just realize, no, that's the whole process. Like, imagine, like, just ticking off those small things. Like, I don't care about the sweat anymore. I don't care about this. And then it's eventually just my jokes. Oof. I'm ready for that. Like, I'm waiting for that, but it's going to be a fucking while, you know?
That's the most definitely the most daunting thing like anyone can do. Like being up on stage and making people laugh. Like you can give a speech and all that. Like you can make it sound interesting. Yeah. But making people laugh on the spot, like when they don't know you, especially, is like the hardest. I remember one time at uni at Macquarie, they just had like some open mic event randomly. I was like, this sounds easy. Like anyone can go up there, tell a joke, people will laugh. So, but I'm glad I never did it. They had this one guy. This one guy came up and he was Australian, like white guy. He went up there and there's nothing funnier than funniest thing is like when people make you laugh, that's funny. But what's funnier even is when they bomb the hell out of it. Like that's the funniest thing to experience. He did like a 6-7 minute set, and the premise of it was that his girlfriend was Indian. That was his premise, right? And he did like 3 or 4 jokes, and they were so bad. One of them was like, so I asked my girlfriend if she knows the Kama Sutra. And she didn't. And then he goes, the punchline was, so I said like, you don't know Kama Sutra? So your parents must be disappointed in you. And that was the joke, right? And he waited for people to laugh and everyone was just like holding their head and stuff. Second joke was about like how he had an issue with his device. So he called tech support and it turned out to be his girlfriend's dad. So that was the joke he was trying to make. And then he bombs him up.
That's not comedy,
and I was like, that ain't comedy, bro. What the hell were you doing?
There's no
so it was like, this guy was eating it.
Yeah, that's shambles. No way. The thing is, bro, like open mics, you'll definitely see several of these people, and it's up to you whether you get like more motivated or less motivated by that. I feel like some days I'm like, oh fuck, he bombed. I'm gonna be so much better than him. Some days I'll see him bomb and then I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm in for a world of pain.
I could be worse.
So it's like I don't know, man. It's very variable. We're human. End of the day, man. I can't be pulling off jokes every day, man. Shit, let me cry one time.
Yeah. So you talked about Andrew Schultz. Is he like your top dog? Like, what other comedians you listen to?
No, as in like top, bro. Like, I don't have any like role models or anything. Like, in the sense that like he's his own guy. Like, man, I love the fact that he has his own crew. In the sense that like he managed to acquire a crew, not in the sense that like he had to look heavy. They were his boys, and they just like I don't know, man. Like in that sense. Like building a table and then eating with the close ones, that shit is amazing. The way he built the ground up, that's amazing. And the way that he did it himself.
From Joe Rogan, though, I never knew of him until he came on Joe Rogan, and I'm guessing it would have been. No.
I've been listening for like a while. I've known him for like, but then I didn't know about how dedicated he was. Like I've been listening to Flagrant since it would have been. It's been a while. I don't know how to differentiate. Do you remember Kaz?
Yeah. Kaz came on 2016, 2017 when.
Yeah, so I remember like early Kaz days, and then from there,
I've been listening to Andrew since he did his podcast with Charlemagne. So this was like back in.
Oh, Billy and TWG. Yeah. So I've been listening.
Yeah.
Do you know, like that's the thing. My comedians right now, it's kind of based off like the podcast I listen to, right? Because it's kind of it's biased. Do you know Andrew Santino?
Yeah, Andrew Santino, yeah.
Yeah, him and Bobby Lee, like that shit's hilarious just because it just reminds me of me and one of my mates just being like bad friends to each other. Do you get me? Brilliant Idiots is amazing because they'll discuss things and Charlemagne, he's not much of a comedian. I guess Dave Chappelle. Did you guys spend much time watching the like Def Jams back in the day?
Yeah,
like do you remember
a lot.
Def Jams? Yeah. So in terms of comedic inspirations, like, bro, I think maybe when I was like 11 or 12 and my older cousin was showing me that shit, that's when I was like, oh, I want to do that. So like Bernie Mac and shit, do you get me? Like, I ain't scared of you, that stupid, not that, hey, he's great. I don't know. But like, do you get me? Like you get people to laugh, like you can make people laugh from like a variety of reasons. And like Def Jam specifically, I think that got me really into this comedy as a lifestyle.
I'll recommend Patrice O'Neill as well, which Andrew talks about a lot. Listen to Patrice. Yeah. Was Russell Peters ever was your guy back in high school and stuff?
I mean, we can't deny we definitely listened to him when he first put out some of his like early specials because like at the time that was funny.
Yeah.
And like I remember when I was in year 4, I was like, dude, this is comedy, and I'm singing from a brown guy. This is amazing. I need Russell Peters. I mean, fast forward 10 years, and I still see him perform. I'm like, damn, this is a little bit sad because it ain't that funny anymore, my guy. But
yeah, same here. Same here.
But we needed him back then, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have no hate.
That's
no
exactly how I look at it. Yeah, for that time he was like the funniest guy, but now I look at him and he's just like, yeah. So bringing like it brings me to the point where like you mentioned a lot of male comedians there, and we've all mentioned male comedians.
Yeah.
Do you find any female comedians funny?
Have you listened to Trash Tuesdays? You know what? Like, I think it's Bloodbath. It's like Kalila, Annie Letterman, Esther.
I've heard of them, but the reason why I don't put them up is because they're not stand-up comedians. I'm like,
not Kalila.
like
I think Annie Letterman is stand-up.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's my PC answer. I can't get cancelled now. Bro, I don't know, man. I don't necessarily find many girls in my circles funny, but that might be a me problem, you know? I might not be putting the effort into finding these funny girls. But right now, I just hear a lot more complaining than jokes. Do you get me?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I feel like as well.
Can I say that? Can I say that and not get destroyed, please? On the Trash Talk experience?
Bro, like, we open to hearing all opinions, and I agree with you at that point. Like, there's like 3 female comedians that over time I found funny. The recent only one I found funny is Ali Wong. She was like,
great as well. Yeah. And you know what? We gotta like previously I used to kind of find it annoying how girl comedians would only joke about sex and like pregnancy and all that. But like that is the female experience. Do you get me? That is what happens. So like that needs to happen. So that is still funny stuff. But I'm talking about like when I say a funny female comic, I mean, I don't even have to say female, as in she is dead ass funny. She's just like, I don't know. Annie Letterman, genuinely hilarious. She'll make you like vomit, and then like she's disgusting. So definitely suss her out.
The only one I've like lived up to that level where I just said, oh yeah, she is comedian, like not a female comedian, is Joan Rivers. Rest in peace, Joan Rivers. She was like the funniest female comedian that I've seen. Yeah. But yeah, I get your point. Yeah, but it's just like naturally happens. I feel like, but yeah, I don't like Sun. Like I laugh at the stuff he does and stuff like that. But yeah, my female friends are not in a similar vein. And I've seen females like that are funny, but like not in my circles yet.
Do you ever hear like in like this is me being bullshit right now, but like say. Like I can differentiate my mates, and I can just scream big nose out, and then he'll turn around and look at me. Can you do that in your girlfriend groups? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. With the same connotations, you know. Yeah. With the same, it's innocent. You have a big nose. Get over it.
Females have a code where they support each other regardless of how they look. Like I see a lot of friends that like each other's photos, and I'm like, yo, that is not a nice photo. She should go with keto. If I was a boy, I would probably be like, put him to the side. I'm like, bro, take this shit up. Or start keto, like, you know, I mean, something on that sort. Like, don't get chips, get a Pepsi Max instead, whatever. Yeah. Like, I would say it to a boy. But girls have this unwavering support towards other girls, which can be good, but it can be a killer too. Diabetes, obesity, comorbidity. COVID is rampant. You should be careful about this stuff.
I definitely agree on that point. Like,
I agree, because it helps and it...
But have you been in like around your friends that are girls, like, and they're like joking with each other, they're making fun of each other? Like, have you been in that circumstance? I've very rarely seen that happen.
Very rarely. I was just going to say, I've seen it definitely, just not as much as I see it with boys.
Anyway, so yeah, we were talking about football. I wanted to bring up football as well. I've seen you rock the Man City jumper one too many times. What is like? Why Man City? When did you fall in love with Man City?
I don't know. I've fallen in love with a sport that I have not ever been good at. What the fuck happened, you know? Like, and I think it was 2008 sometime. It was like Spurs versus City, and I was watching with my older cousin, and I don't know about you guys, but like when you're at like 10, 11, your older cousin is a god, you know? He seems like a king. So he decides to put effort into watching a football game. God damn it, I'm going to do that too. But he's going for Spurs. I'm going to go for the other team.
Yeah.
And then it was City. I think it was 2008. I didn't pay too much attention to it. I was like, fuck it. I just remembered that, right? And then I think when I lived in rural Taree, fuck that, whatever. No one talked about football there. I moved to Cherrybrook, right? Year 9. Everyone talked about football, and I was like, oh shit, I need to start watching again, right? And I think that was 11-12. Perfectly 11-12 season. You know, it came for me. Kuni's going to win that for us, going to take off his shirt. I was crying literal tears in front of my TV screen, and I was like, okay, no girl can make me feel like this ever in my life. I will never, like, I could get married and live a beautiful marriage and she'll still not be my longest relationship because Manchester City made me cry before this woman. You get me? Like,
that's the thing.
It's done too much for me. It's done too much for me to, not be a loyal fan.
Yeah, you found success very quickly into your love for football in a way.
Yeah, I was very lucky. That's what I mean. It felt blessed almost.
Yeah. Me and Son both are massive Chelsea supporters, right? So I went through the heartache, and I've been supporting Chelsea since like Mourinho first time took over. I was like very young when I got into football.
Yeah.
And same with because of my brother, he's big football supporter back then. I started watching it. So yeah, we went through the heartbreaks of first Champions League loss to United. When Barcelona paid off the referees in 2009 as well.
Drogba on the camera. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So once we went through the heartache, and then finally when we won the Champions League in 2012, bro, I cried as well. That was like the biggest moment sporting wise, like one of the biggest moments I've had. And I remember crying because you know how like Champions League like normally comes like super early in the morning for us.
Yeah.
So like we would like 4:30. I woke up and then I had an exam that day, and I was like, I don't want to be doing this exam and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I like started crying, and then my mom was like, she thought I lost. That's why I was crying. I was like, no, I'm crying because I won.
Oh God, it's a double whammy. You'll remember that day. That's great. Yeah,
Funny thing is,
I don't know.
This off season could have been huge for you guys. You were in the running to get Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah,
and
bro, that's
happened?
the thing, man. Okay, Messi, I'm fine. Like, we've been chasing this guy. We've been chasing Barcelona's like skeleton for ages. We've got like their like marketing director. We've got like their backstaff is Man City now, right? So honestly, I low key as a spoiled Manchester City fan was kind of thinking Messi would be coming, right? Ronaldo, on the other hand, I don't want to hear this shit about we got rejected by him. This pussy-ass motherfucker, he came, had a little tantrum at Juventus, didn't want to play football there, started offering. He wanted to play for us. We don't want to do it. We don't want to pay 30 mil. Then, these pussy boys overseas, over the other side were like, he's going to play for us again. Amazing. Romantic.
In hindsight, you guys should have paid it, though. Like, he is going to be this.
Hindsight is, does he win him any cups this season?
Probably not. I don't reckon. I wouldn't put him in. But like, he's bigger than Man City. Like, he's bigger than clubs in itself.
Interesting. I mean, we'll let that one slide.
No, we can put it just strictly through numbers, like Twitter follows, whatever. That's even disregarding that. Like, Ronaldo is defined.
Yeah. In terms of that, absolutely. In terms of literally that, yeah. But in terms of just like, this is why I like English football, just football in general. There's still the fact of just like the culture of the club that still matters. Like a club is still like, how they say the player should never be bigger than the club.
Yeah,
I don't hear that shit in NBA. I don't really hear that shit everywhere. Like, do you get me?
Yeah,
it's like I still believe in that. Like,
tribalism.
Follow this club.
Yeah,
Do you ever consider stopping following Man City sometimes? Like, when you hear about Qatar stuff going on, or that you just subside that? Same.
Why are we so happy with white billionaires, my friend?
No, I don't care.
I like my light-skinned billionaires as well. They play with oil. What's wrong? It's all good.
So my concern was because Chelsea's owner Roman Abramovich, he's Jewish, by the way, and he supported Israeli government for taking Palestinian homes away. So for a while I had this conflict. I was like, yo, shit, man, maybe I should change my thing. But then next Sunday, I was up for it in the morning.
Exactly. Next Sunday, you watch Lukaku bully fucking centre backs, man. What's wrong with you? So, literally, nah, man. I mean, that's the thing. Why I follow a club, I'm not following their goddamn how they make their money, man.
It doesn't affect you,
yeah, like, dude, I'm just here for the football. I understand that, it's pretty corrupt how this shit works. But let's not pretend.
As long as the corruption favors you chill, like, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah.
As long as you're getting Grealish, it's cool.
Oh, man. Pretty boy. Dude, this is fantastic. I love the football. Watch this season. You're going to be surprised. I will say Chelsea look almost disgustingly like impossible.
I reckon, too. Like, we should be the favorites this season.
You win 6 points against most of the top 6, 4 against Liverpool. And then, I don't know how you beat, like, maybe you'll see the rest. But honestly, tactics-wise, I hate the Germans. Honestly, my goodness.
I reckon he's got Pep's number, especially last season, last 3.
100%. It was disgusting.
When you bring that up, did you think Pep messed up his tactics in the final last year?
I will back Pep till the day I die. I'll back any Manchester City player, coach, whatever, till they die. But if I'm taking a step back, absolutely. Are you fucking kidding me? He absolutely botched that game. bro, I didn't even realize how much he botched it. Because obviously when I see the lineup, in my head, I'm like, I've never seen this lineup come up all season. And then you see the stats where we have never played without Rodri or Fernsey before that game. And then I was like, oh my God, that's actually, like, I wasn't just thinking that. That's actually what happened.
But it did make sense in hindsight because they lost to Chelsea 2 times in 1 month before that particular game.
There's too much thinking, man. No,
Fernandinho was shit. Rodri was shit. I think he got sent off, or he was really mediocre.
I wasn't disappointed at the 2 losses before that Champions League final. We didn't have. I remember roster wasn't full for one of them, and the second one wasn't it wasn't too bad. I reckon
it didn't matter, but like it puts something in perspective.
Hindsight, we lost. Yeah. End of the day, we lost. But like the thing that really fucked with me was the way we lost. Like we literally changed for you guys. Like this imperious beast that we've meant to tiki-taka football, whatever you want to call it. Like this Manchester City behemoth still bent over for the other team. That's disappointing. That was the only reason I was that upset. But otherwise, bro, we're in a final, baby. Enjoy that shit.
Okay, as a Chelsea fan, I hope you have more disappointment this season. So yeah, we take the league, we take the Champions League back again. So yeah. It is what it is.
We'll see.
Lukaku's going to take us.
So we can talk about this forever. That's the thing.
Anyway, we got to wrap this up. Anyway, thank you, Billy, very much for coming on. I wanted you to just plug all your socials and stuff like that.
Man, honestly, I don't know what my best social is, but I guess TWG, the worst generation, on literally anything. On your fucking, ideally on YouTube, ideally on Instagram, because I put some nice pictures out for you. But otherwise, find me if you have $2 in your account. If you're working construction 24/7, you can afford Patreon, you little bitch. So I can't come through. I'm only kidding. I talk like this on the pod as well. I'm not doing this. Yeah.
Bro,
otherwise, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. You're welcome to come back anytime, as always.
Well, of course. And when we're allowed in, because I'm still thinking about webcam, over webcam sessions and all that, because virtual sessions basically. But I'm a big fucking thing on in-person sessions, right?
Yeah.
So obviously you have 4 people all together. Is it technically 4 people?
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if it's still you 4 guys and we open up, we can have 2 of you on mic and then 2 of you in the background. The ambience is key. But you're definitely welcome on as well.
Perfect.
I'll be on soon.
I haven't noted down, bro. I'm going to keep you to that promise and then come out.
Bring your masks as well. I don't want to see you there either.
Yeah, we'll do. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. As always, check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, at Trash Talk Experience. And please follow us on our Instagram at Trash Talk EXP. Thank you, Billy, once again. Peace and bye.
Thank you.